This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotato.com.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
I am Iron Man. That's a big one.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
You are a toy!
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Why so serious?
You see these flying? We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
And welcome to World War G, episode 227. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
Okay, so we know that San Diego Comic-Con happened over the weekend.
Yes.
So, this is a teaser. We're going to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cover everything that they talked about, at least as much as we can. But we're going to do that at the end. So
We'll start with This Week in Geek.
yeah, so stick around, because you know we're going to talk about Comic-Con. So
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
We're trying to put your minds at ease here.
Okay, so yeah, let's start.
Let's just get right into this.
Get right into it.
There's this bizarre, I had to bring this up because it's so interesting and kind of like random, but there's this bizarre erotic horror game, Lust for Darkness, releasing for the Switch, which to me, I mean, it's originally on PC and it's been around for some time, but they decided the next platform or gaming console they're going to release it on is the Switch, which seems so bizarre because did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
I did.
Yeah, it's it's out there, and you know, typically the Switch and Nintendo's known for like Zelda and Mario and these wholesome family-friendly games.
Yeah.
And then you get this game.
Yeah. That has like nudity and stuff in it.
Oh,
yeah. It's like if Blumhouse made the film Eyes Wide Shut.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Cuz it looks very Victorian style. Everybody's wearing masks and stuff like that. And they're having like sex parties.
Mm-hmm. Happy Death Day, quite literally.
Yeah. And then but all of a sudden
no,
there's
not
this
Happy Death
horror
Day. Excuse me.
aspect.
We Happy. I was thinking of. We Happy Few, where they're all got those kind of like those clay white porcelain looking masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that they're releasing it on the Switch.
Right?
How odd.
Yeah.
I think it would have been like a PS4 or Xbox or something.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, that is so weird. I think it's the first time that Nintendo games ever had nudity.
I can't think of any other ones that, yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure.
Well, you did see some like,
I remember Mario being
right?
nude.
Peach,
Yeah.
Mario. He's like, I'm gonna go lay some pipe. Like, it's a me. Can you imagine? He just like just before he's about to have sex, he just like grabs a mushroom. And he's like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Well, wouldn't you?
Right?
Grab a couple extra lives here and there, you know.
Yeah. So in case he like dies, you know.
It's probably like Viagra in that world.
Oh man.
So there are two Halloween sequels officially announced by Blumhouse. Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So then
this
you
is
know
the franchise that will never die. Much like Mike Myers,
he will never die.
Will never die.
Well, knowing that they're going to release 2, doesn't that already mean that he's not going to die in the next one? So
it does give you a little bit of a spoiler, doesn't it?
Right? I mean, it's kind of cool to see at the very end, he's just like, you know, a hand like stick up or like something happens to where you're like, oh, wait, are they going to make another one? You know, but where you already know there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
You already know this upcoming one, he's not going to die.
Unless they do something cheesy, like Jamie Lee Curtis ends up becoming the killer or something like that. Or I hope they don't do that.
That would kind of... Well, they're going off of the fame that they recently had in the most recent Halloween movie, right?
Right.
They're going off that. They're just like, hey, that made a ton of money. Like, see, they're basically, they can restart the whole franchise because they've got the original one, and then they've got this one, that's like 40 years, or what was it, 30 or 40 years later?
40
years later? Yeah. But I think they just need to let it go its way.
I think that's kind of what Blumhouse does. And we'll talk about it here in a little bit. They get this really good idea, this really cool concept of a movie, and then they kind of ruin it or cheapen it with with sequels,
right? And
it kind of it messes up the original.
Well, we should have already known this because they did do the whole Saw franchise and Paranormal Activities.
Yeah,
right?
Which each one has 20 sequels.
Right.
Yeah.
And we already talked about last week that they're getting a 8th installment of the Saw franchise. So, yeah, they just need to be happy with 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Speaking about a series that goes on and on and on and on and
never
on.
Die.
Right? The Simpsons will be spoofing Stranger Things for their Halloween Treehouse of Horrors episode.
How long do you think The Simpsons is going to go? Do you think it's going to last another 10 years?
Oh, easy.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't see it going anywhere. They're still trying to stay relevant and, with pop culture.
Yeah.
But I think that there will come a point where people just, don't care anymore. Or do you think it'll ever get, released on, you can just go back and binge watch all of them on a...
Oh, I'm sure.
At Netflix or Hulu?
Yeah. If not, The Simpsons will have their own channel somewhere, own downloading or streaming service where it just plays their episodes constantly.
You can watch all 3 million.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's difficult because it's easy with animated series to never have these kids grow up.
Yeah.
Right? Or to just keep them the same age. But at the same time, where we're getting older, it's becoming less relatable.
Right.
Right? Doesn't it kind of feel that way? I don't know. I can't really relate to Bart's troubles.
That's true because when you were younger and you saw Bart and doing all this stuff, you're like, yeah, Bart's awesome. Bart's
rebelling against his parents. Yeah.
Then when you get older, you're just like, oh, poor Homer.
Right?
Poor Marge.
You start empathizing with the parents.
Yeah. Oh, Marge, why do you leave him? Leave Homer, Marge. Come on. But yeah, so I guess they're gonna spoof Stranger Things.
I think they've got a couple of seasons to choose from. It looks like from at least the trailers and the pictures and stuff, it's going to be season 1.
Yeah, and it's Treehouse of Horror, so they do, I'm sure it'll only be one story of the 3, I think that they do. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
It seems like it would be a lot to cover to try to cover a couple of seasons in one.
Well, and I've heard the Simpsons writers talk about Treehouse of Horror, and every season, that is the first one that they do. That's the first one they animate. That's the first one they write, because it's so hard.
It's really time consuming.
Yeah, it's really time consuming.
Because you have to be so... Well, I heard the same thing about Family Guy when they did those Star Wars episodes, is it took so long is because they had to be meticulous and get everything right, and the rest of them, they can kind of do their own thing and create their own story, but these ones, they need to be pretty spot on.
Yeah, everything's got to look good. The costumes, hairstyles, the overall tone, everything has got to fit and look just like it did in the show.
Right.
And saying with Family Guy, they did shot-for-shot remakes of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So they had to get the camera angles perfect. They had to get, like I was saying, costumes and everything down. They have to get... It has to be identical. Yeah. So it's no wonder that it takes so freaking long.
Well... It's also because these other shows and things that they're recreating are so nostalgic and iconic, and if they didn't do it justice, they would get so much backlash from these fans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, if you've listened to the podcast for any length of time, you know that I've brought up my issues with the fact that Marvel Comics the comic books themselves tend to change a lot of the time with the movies.
Right.
They tend to focus on characters and storylines that's going to fit in the movies. And that's always kind of bothered me. I always thought that the comics and the movies should be kind of separate things, you know.
Right, because they play that card all too often when they say, like, hey, this is our own interpretation of these characters, right? The movies can get away with doing that, but then the comics have to follow suit and, you know, follow with what they're doing.
Yeah. And I get why they do it, because it'll help sell more comic books.
Right.
I get that. But I'm not alone in my feelings, because a guy by the name of Jonathan Hickman, who's in the comic book world, I think he's a writer, says Jonathan Hickman isn't mincing words when it comes to what he sees as faults in the way Marvel Comics takes advantage of the immense mainstream popularity of Marvel Studios films. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Hickman talks about the Marvel Comics reacting as opposed to acting to each MCU film. This is what he says. I think one of the biggest mistakes that some people make at Marvel Comics is that we are reactive to what they're doing in the Marvel films. We should not be taking our creative cues from the direction they're taking in the movies. That kind of defeats the point. They have $1 billion to play with, and we don't. We can't compete in that matter, and you shouldn't. My argument has been that I should always be way out in front of that stuff. All of that stuff is being drawn from our source material.
Right.
And that's exactly right.
Yeah.
The movies are taking cues from the comic books and what they did. Mm-hmm. And so now if you're drawing stories from the movies into the comic books, you're just going around in circles, and what are you going to do? You're
going to end up with, you're not going to have any material if these guys aren't creating new material.
Exactly right.
Or stories to draw from.
Exactly right.
Well, and that's why I love so much is like with these DC animated movies that they do, they're like, oh, we're drawing influences from this one, or we're going to tell this story and stuff. And it's just like, oh, that's like one of my favorite in the comics. You know, I love that one. Like, it'll be cool to see it like animated and made into a feature film.
Also, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but DC's movies, their live action movies, credits, they're not doing that. They're not pulling stories from the comics, or, you know, the comic books aren't mimicking the movies.
Yeah.
The movies are just doing kind of their own separate stories.
They draw influences from, they draw from the source material.
But unlike, you know, Infinity War, which drew straight from the comic books, Infinity Gauntlet, DC isn't doing that. And so I think that's ultimately to their credit, because Marvel, they're either going to have to start doing that, doing their own independent things, or they're going to have to let the comic books be the comic books and let them do what they're going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't have anything to fall back on.
But we're not going to have to worry about that for the next few years.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about here shortly. No, that's you.
Young Stan Lee?
No, we're doing, are we doing Young Stan Lee?
Yep.
Oh, my bad. Where'd that story go? I lost that story.
Like, speaking of comics.
Hang on. I'll just edit all this out.
Okay.
Or I won't. I don't know. I may be too lazy to... See, and that is why I don't delete the stuff off my phone until after we've recorded. Okay. So, Pure Imagination Studios and POW Entertainment are developing an animated series about fictionalized young Stan Lee, according to Deadline. The Amazing Stan was created by writer Scott Peterson and Pure Imagination's CCO John P. Roberts and Sanjay Gupta. So they're kind of creating a fictionalized version of Stan Lee's life.
Do you think this is too soon?
No, I don't think it's too soon. it seems to me like something that Stan Lee would have done ultimately himself.
Right.
I don't know. I would prefer personally to see like a biopic of his life. Instead
Similar
of
to
like
what they did with like Walt Disney's life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of like a fictionalized version of his life in a cartoon form, I would have preferred to see maybe a live action film.
They'll eventually do that. I think this is just kind of like one direction or one thing they're doing, you know, kind of a side project.
That's probably true. Probably true. Maybe another 30 years down the line, we'll get the Stan Lee story.
Right. 2050 coming coming to theaters near you. But by then, you know, they'll all be like crazy. I don't know what direction they would go with like theaters in like 30 plus years.
If there even be movie theaters at that point.
It'll all just be like streaming.
I could totally see that. I could totally see because Netflix, kids, listen, Netflix used to be you would order a movie and it would appear in your mailbox.
Right.
And then you would watch it, send it back, and then another one would come. That was Netflix, which is weird to think now.
Yeah, it really is.
And so I could see Netflix changing and adapting again in the next 10, 15 years, being like having new theatrical releases that you can pay $3.99, $4.99, $5.99, whatever, and actually watch a brand new film on your computer. I could see that happening. Matter of fact, I almost guarantee you that's going to happen.
I could see it as well. I would be... Matt, like maybe this makes me sound like more of a recluse or something, but like I wouldn't mind just watching it because then I can enjoy the movie without having to deal with like all these other people that are annoying, like that we've talked about before.
And it's starting already with smaller independent films. They'll have them released in a small group of theaters, and they'll have them online.
So how do you prevent people from like, hey, you know, let's pay like $7 and have a couple hundred people watch this movie? Or they just like, you know, pirate it.
That's a good point.
Right? How do you keep... I mean, it's easy to have it like released all at a certain date and a certain time, so everybody's seeing it at the same time. So, you know, you don't have to worry about spoilers.
That's true. And they might have to adjust as far as what's successful as far as pricing goes. Because you can't stop, 20 people coming over and watching a movie on your big screen.
Right.
But... what you can't, maybe they'll do this, because what they do at movie theaters is in order to get the film, they send you a code and you input that code. You have a certain amount of time, I think, to input that code and the movie downloads.
Okay.
And what they could do is once that movie downloads and you watch it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So maybe they could do something like that. I'm not saying that's what happens in the theaters.
Would you be able to pause it?
I would assume, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just like one shot kind of a deal.
Yeah, but maybe they could do it that way.
But even still, you couldn't really stop like 20 people from coming over and watching one new movie.
Yeah, but if you ever wanted to watch it again, you'd have to pay again. Just like you would in a movie theater.
It's true. And then they'd have to adjust the price accordingly or figure out...
Yeah, because if you're going to do that, obviously you're not going to get a $2 billion film. So you're going to have to realize that, if your movie only makes $2 or $3 million, that's still a success because hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people still saw it, but not everybody paid.
They could still do it off of, like, kind of base it off of numbers, how many actually, opening week, this many people downloaded it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see them going that direction. It would defeat the purpose of movie theaters because the only way that they really make money is, for the most part, is just by concessions.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of another streaming giant, Spotify launches Disney Hub for classic songs plus Marvel and Star Wars scores. There you kind of put together like a couple of playlists where it's got like, the scores from Frozen, Moana, Cars, Tarzan, Mulan, Aladdin, It's interesting
Okay.
and it's kind of cool. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people out there that like love their Disney movies, so they might as well capitalize on this.
All right, so this is just the songs. It's music.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the music from those movies.
All right. See, I listen to Disney songs occasionally, but what I would like is, and maybe they'll do this, is music that's played in Disneyland.
Okay.
Just to have that on, like, in the background.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd like to do.
To kind of get into that creative mindset,
Yeah.
so you could just like draw as you're doing this.
So, you have the sense of walking down Main Street, USA in Disneyland, or going through Frontierland,
Yeah.
or New Orleans
you like
Square.
start popping popcorn and like making churros.
You get the smells, and yeah.
Create your own little Disney World. Yeah. You're like, yep, that's right. My house is now the happiest place on earth.
Create your own Disney World. That's right.
Yeah. I don't think it's not a really big selling point because the music's good and it's perfectly fine. I'd rather enjoy the movie though. And like, while, I appreciate the songs more, when I'm watching the movie,
Yeah. And it's kind of hubris, isn't it? Disney saying, you love our music so much that here you go.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yep.
What can I say except you're welcome? Plus, I mean, it's all on YouTube. All the Disney songs are on YouTube. So, yeah. So, we're getting a live action Barbie movie.
Just what we've been asking for.
Right? And who would you cast as Barbie, but the real life version, which is Margot Robbie?
Yeah?
Right?
Yeah?
Have you seen her in Wolf of Wall Street?
Right? She is straight up Barbie.
Yeah. If anybody's going to be Barbie, it's going to be her. So Oscar nominees and regular collaborators Greta Gerwig, who did Lady Bird, and Noah Baumbach, the Squid and the Whale, will be writing the script for Warner Brothers' upcoming live-action Barbie movie starring Oscar winner Margot Robbie. So it has been confirmed. It's happening. What I do wonder is if it's going to be like a Barbie movie in the fact that Barbie's going to be, a character and it's going to be in her world, or are they going to go more of like an autobiographical type of thing, kind of the creation of Barbie?
Tonya, kind of more.
Yeah, kind of like maybe
this is where Barbie originated from. This character, we drew influences from this person.
Yeah. Even though
I hope that they do that, because that to me would be a lot more interesting, and I could see that she'd be like perfect for this role.
Yeah.
But if they go the direction where it's just like a Barbie movie set in her kind of universe, and she deals with like Ken, it seems more like the Emoji Movie or some of these other stupid ones.
Yeah, because when you think of Barbie movies, you think of those dumb animated ones.
Yeah.
That are, and by the way, if you need voices for those, please hire me. That are like Barbie in Magic Castle Land, and Barbie in the Dream Land, and Barbie in the Magic Unicorn, and crap like that.
I would also like to see a much like more independent Barbie that's actually going out and doing stuff, and it's not just stuck at the house, in her playhouse. Like,
that movie that came out a little bit ago that was about the creator of Wonder Woman. You remember seeing that?
I didn't see the movie. See it, but I'm familiar with it.
Like, if they did something like that with Barbie, I think that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Even though the creator of Barbie drew inspiration from her children, which was Barbie and Ken. Yeah. Those were the names of her kids. Which is really weird if you think about it.
That's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, there's some Oedipus stuff going on there, but hey, who am I to judge?
speaking of things we didn't ask for that we're getting anyways, Blumhouse developers are creating Happy Death Day 3.
See? Here they go.
And I remember giving this movie like horrible reviews because I didn't much care for the movie. I mean, it had a couple of funny parts, but
The second one?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one I thought was great.
First one was great.
Yeah.
And I don't see why they have to do this. The first one was good, and it was original, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. When you actually find out what's making the days repeat, it wasn't that interesting, and it was kind of stupid. And I can already see the direction that they're going to go with the third one. Okay, so if you haven't seen the movie, like, spoiler alert, it's like a machine that they've created that basically created a time loop. You know, so
really?
they keep... Yep, it was a machine.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, and they had to like quickly stop it in order to like that was the whole purpose of it is she kept going back to eventually stop this machine and get them. Well, she had to help create it first, and then they had to like stop it because then the principal of this like little college was trying to shut down the whole program entirely. So she keeps going back, and she has to keep remembering the formula for them to actually create this time machine to then stop. Yeah, it was really convoluted and all over the place, and it wasn't that great.
I liked it a lot better than the first one, where you didn't know what was happening to her.
Yeah, or why this was happening,
or why. Yeah,
like leave it up to interpretation rather than like actually showing. You know, that's like showing the wizard behind like Oz kind of a thing, right? You're just like, okay, that's kind of lame. I didn't.
And then if I remember right, Death Day 2 did not do well.
No, not at all.
And so why would they look at the numbers and see there was a failure and go, let's make another one?
Because they got just enough people like to buy tickets that they... And here's the thing, it's going to be bad because like even if there's a second one that's horrible, I hope that the third one's like much better and the trailer's going to probably look pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I might end up seeing it. But I don't know. And that's probably the fans that they're hoping to get is the ones that are like, I mean, you know, not much else is in theaters.
You know, might as well go see it.
Yeah.
They want the might as well crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So this story struck me as kind of odd. Paul McCartney is adapting It's a Wonderful Life to the stage. And it's going to be a musical.
Okay.
Because when you think of It's a Wonderful Life, you think of being a musical and Paul McCartney.
Yeah. That's my initial thoughts. Yeah.
But according to Variety, the former Beatles member is in the process of writing a stage musical adaptation of the 1946 classic Christmas drama film It's a Wonderful Life.
That's an interesting combination together.
But people will go see it because Paul McCartney wrote it.
And how old is Paul McCartney these days?
74?
Okay.
75? Somewhere around there?
You think he's just going to be kind of an executive and sit back and let other people actually create it?
Oh, of course.
Right? I mean, he'll have his name on it, obviously, because they want to sell tickets.
He'll have his name on it. He'll write the songs.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does.
Right.
But the rest of it, I bet he'll be hands off.
Leave up to everybody else to actually do.
Yep.
Because I think that if he were to do it entirely himself, it would seem outdated and not that great. You know, they need some like fresh new influences and hey, what's popular at the moment? Like let's kind of draw from that.
Paul McCartney knows songwriting, but he doesn't know
what's
acting. He doesn't know. I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing he doesn't know how to put together a whole stage production.
Yeah.
So,
like, because otherwise it would be pretty cringeworthy because it's his first attempt at this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think this is going to spark other people that think that they can, like, cross-platform?
Probably. Yeah, we're going to see, like, Katy Perry's 12 Angry Men musical.
Yeah. Because
because why not? Because Paul McCartney did it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird combination.
It is not a wonderful life.
But, you know, if you're Paul McCartney and if you want to do it, people are going to say yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got to do something in retirement, you know.
He's not retired.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But I'm saying he's past the age of retirement.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped a bit. Anyway. So, let's get to our Comic-Con coverage.
Yes.
Here. Because as you can see, we whip through our stories really quick, so we have enough time to talk about all this. So first what we're going to do is go through some of the trailers, because they dropped a lot.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about this year, because in years past, they've dropped a few trailers here and there.
One or two. You kind of sprinkled them in there.
Yeah, for some reason this year, it was like massive.
Well, I mean, they have a lot to talk about, and these different trailers are awesome, but at the same time, does that mean that they just don't have a lot of other content? You know, that's like when the teacher goes and, today we're just going to be watching a movie. Right?
Yeah.
To take up time. Like, I wonder, because a lot of the times you can just go online or to YouTube and to watch these trailers. I mean, obviously they drop there first and they're different ones.
I think it was the opposite problem. I think they had so much content and so many creators that have movies coming out in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, that they're just like, let's just cram as much in there and take a massive pop culture dump on everybody.
Yeah.
Which is what they did.
I'm going to pop a dump on you.
Yeah. Just pop culture diarrhea everywhere. Just painting the walls.
Yeah, let's get right into this.
Yeah, let's run them down.
It 2.
It Chapter 2.
27 years later, right?
Yep, this is coming out very shortly. It's coming out September 6th.
Which I'm so stoked for this one. Like, they've got a fantastic cast.
Oh, they have a great cast. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the sequel looks like it's going to be just as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a lot more psychological than the first one was.
Right. It does. Well, like, especially when he was going through, like, the water and lots of different other trippy, psychedelic kind of things were happening.
The House of Mirrors. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, which that's going to be a brutal scene where he's looking at that little kid that's getting attacked by Pennywise.
How much you want to bet that's his son?
Ooh, yeah.
Because Pennywise took his brother when he was a kid.
And then his son 27 years later. Ooh, that would, yeah. I'd want revenge.
I wonder how close they're going to stick to the book.
Yeah. It did look like from the trailer itself, because like in the first one that they dropped, when they went around that circle at the very end, that's all the kids that's the order in which they all died.
Right.
In the book.
Right.
So it seems like they're staying pretty close to the source material.
Yeah. Spoilers. They all may not make it.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of blood.
But, I mean, it's Stephen King. You got to suspect.
Right.
That people are gonna die.
This one I actually saw first on Sean posted this on his like Facebook page.
Yeah. That's where I saw it too.
Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yeah, I've known this was happening for a long time because I listen to a lot of Kevin Smith's podcasts, and so he's been talking that he's been writing this for quite a while. So I've been following this film.
They have to go to Hollywood in order to stop this movie from being made.
So what happened is, if you ever saw the first Jay and Silent Bob movie. What happens is there was a comic creator played by Ben Affleck named Holden who creates a series of comic books based on Jay and Silent Bob called Blunt Man and Chronic.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Batman and Robin ripoff. And so Hollywood decides that they're going to make that movie and Jay and Silent Bob try to stop it. Where in this one, in a world of reboots that we're in, Hollywood is now rebooting Blunt Man and Chronic.
Yeah.
And they're making it dark and gritty, and so they have to go back to Hollywood again and try and stop it.
Which, for somebody that loves talking so much, I think it would be pretty difficult for Kevin Smith to not talk in this movie.
Ironic, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves the sound of his own voice, yet it's not in this movie.
And he's talked about that before.
Dude, he looks so dang skinny.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. I was just like, wait, that's...
Yeah, he's crazy thin now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of that heart attack that he had. Yeah, he's a vegan. That's why he's so skinny. He's on full vegan.
I don't have any beef with him, but I don't know if I can go that direction.
He doesn't have any beef with anybody. You never go full vegan.
It doesn't look that great.
No, it does. That's the thing. I like Kevin Smith. I like listening to him. His podcasts are really entertaining, but I am not a fan of his movies.
No. Even the ones like where he shoehorns his own daughter, and like his kids into the movies,
like he's doing with this one.
It seems so out of play. Like they just grab a bunch of like pop culture stuff and throw it together, shake it up, and like diarrhea it all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. More pop culture diarrhea everywhere. And people say this all the time. His first few films were really good.
Yeah.
Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma. Those were good, genuinely good films.
Yeah.
But then he started smoking marijuana all the time.
Yeah.
And so when you smoke weed, you think things are really, really funny.
When they aren't?
When that sober people don't think are funny at all. And there is films.
Maybe we are watching these films wrong, Troy.
Maybe. Maybe if we got high and went and saw this, maybe it would be a lot funnier.
Yes.
Because I watched the trailer. I didn't crack a smile once.
No. Like, they're making this? All right.
Yeah. And his daughter's not that great of an actress.
Nope.
No.
No.
All right. Terminator. Moving right along. Terminator Dark Fate.
From the director of Deadpool. So it's going to be Tim Miller.
With James Cameron producing.
Right?
So this has the potential to be pretty good. Maybe one of the better sequels that have come along.
I feel like they're taking, a page right from the Halloween book in order to try to reboot the whole franchise. This is their, Halloween movie.
Right, because aren't they skipping all the others and it's like a direct sequel from Terminator 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. With the original actress, Sarah Connor.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton.
Right?
And so that's why I think, okay, you got the original actress, you got the original director who's now producing. There's potential there. There's potential.
Yeah.
And I'll go see it because I've seen all the other Terminator films.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
dumb. It's dumb fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Genesis. I saw Terminator 3 Back in Action or whatever it was called.
Genesis was the one with... Who was that in that one?
That was the one with
Batman.
No, that was Terminator Salvation.
Oh, yeah.
Terminator Genesis was with Khaleesi.
Oh, okay.
What the heck is her name? Gosh dang it. Podcast brain strikes again.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway, you know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
She was in that. So yeah.
It'll help to make the franchise less like all over the place and convoluted.
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
That's her name.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. And so they're because it has been extremely convoluted. It's been all over the place.
Yeah.
The timeline doesn't make sense.
No, people have like tried to put it together and...
Yeah, it's like X-Men that way.
Mm-hmm. That's what they need to do with X-Men, is just do one movie and be like, hey, there was no other ones. There was no Last Stand. There was only this.
I think you should do a direct sequel from X2 and then have Logan be the end of that, so you just have the 4 films.
Yeah.
X-Men 1, X-Men 2, that film and then Logan.
Yep.
Done.
That was our whole series. That was
the
our
X-Men.
initial plan.
Yep. And again, maybe they'll do that 25 years later like they're doing with Terminator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Top Gun Maverick.
Holy crap, Tom Cruise is insane.
Right?
Because watching this trailer and you see fighter pilots or you see the planes flying around, he is flying that freaking plane.
Yeah,
he is. Mm-hmm. You know he had a camera in the cockpit and he's just flying a jet fighter because that's just what Tom Cruise does. Apparently.
This to me, it seems like an older, obviously Maverick's like aged, but it'll be interesting to see why he's only ever become a captain.
Yeah.
He never like moved up the ranks there, because that's what even one of the higher ups said, is he's like, hey, you should have been a colonel by now.
He doesn't want a desk job, man.
Yeah. It's like...
He's got to be free. He's got to be in the air. That's where his home is.
That's where he feels most alive.
That's right. Yeah, and it seems like they're hitting a lot of beats that the original did. Like, they have a piano singing in the bar scene.
Yeah.
They have a shirtless volleyball scene. They have him riding down the tarmac on his motorcycle with a jet flying next to him.
In this movie, Tom Cruise is kind of going in the direction of Clint Eastwood. You know, like the senior, rustic, older guy that's been around the block that knows a thing or two. And he's going to be helping out these young bucks that are first here.
Yep. He knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. He's
right?
like Farmer's Insurance.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
We are Top Gun.
This episode brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, but I'll go see it.
Same. I don't remember like the first Top Gun that much.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again.
Right?
Because I know I've seen it at some point in my 34 years of life. I just don't remember when and don't remember much about it.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on.
This is more television news. His Dark Materials.
Yes.
Which looks dark, brought to you by HBO and BBC. And this one... I'm so glad. Like, as much as I do like Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig, that movie was horrible. The Golden Compass movie.
Golden Compass. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
The only good thing about that was that polar bear fight.
Right? And even then, they drew too much. Like, they started, like, going into the material that you read in the second book.
I wouldn't know. I haven't read them.
Well, the whole Dark Material itself, that's, like, the trilogy. That's just the name for, like, the trilogy. But this one looks to be following a lot closer to the actual original story, and I'm so stoked for it. HBO like does a fantastic job with a lot of these series.
And this doesn't. It seems like HBO is. It doesn't seem like a series that they would do. Like this seems more like maybe a series that'd be on Showtime or something like that.
Or family, like, more of a family hold. No, because this, actually, if you get into it, it's kind of a darker series. Like, it is not... It's even darker than, like, the Hunger Games kind of a thing. It's, like, a step, like, below that as far as, like...
Right.
Yeah. No, I'll be pretty stoked and pretty happy to see it. Along with, we'll talk about this in a minute, but Watchmen as well.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, that looks really good. But next, oh, by the way, yeah, that's coming out. Dark Materials is coming out in 2019. Top Gun coming out in 2019. Terminator is. And so we're just kind of going chronological order here. Next one, 21 Bridges.
So this is the Russo brothers.
I don't know why this is getting so much attention. Is it because of that? Because it's the Russo brothers?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I think, at least.
Chadwick Boseman.
Okay. You know how we've always talked about, like, actors that after they do a certain franchise or a certain, like, set of movies that they need to branch away and do something completely different? This, I understand that the Russo brothers found a lot of great actors and actresses while doing the Marvel, like, universe, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like they went that far away from that. Because, you've got Black Panther, and it's basically Black Panther and J.J. Abrams, or what's his name? J.J. Jameson, right? Like doing this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like your typical cop detective film.
Yeah. Which also I'm kind of like because the whole premise of it is basically these guys like they robbed, they took some like they only took so much from a crime scene and they're only like robbing particular things. So the detective's trying to figure out why they're taking why they're taking this, and then he decides to shut down all of Manhattan, all 21 bridges.
Right.
Why, if you were planning this type of crime, say hypothetically, you and I, we go out and like rob a bank or something, right? And
hypothetically,
hypothetically,
we have not done this.
Yeah,
as far as you know.
Yeah. But they decide to shut down all of like Ogden and isolate us, right? I would think that you'd probably already have like a plan for escape to get out of the country, and we'd have another plan in case we had to lay low for a while, right?
Sure.
Well, why don't they just lay low? Like, what's the whole reason for these, guys to get out of the city?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're in some town called like Lonely River, Montana or something.
Yeah, where there's like a population of like 10.
Yeah, you're in New York. It'll be pretty easy to disappear and
have a
nobody,
safe house and
have nobody see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I get it if they're robbing like multiple places and they've got like an agenda. That's why but then what's the whole reason or what's the motivation for them to get out of the city?
That's true.
Right? That's my only question.
That's true. Plus, if they were to do that here in Ogden, I would probably head up to the mountains.
Oh, for sure.
They cut off all the main roads.
Right?
Head up to the mountains.
Done.
Live up there for a while.
I've actually already given this a lot of thought. And I wouldn't rob a bank. I know what I'd rob. I would probably go rob the like a drive-in.
Really?
What I would do is have 4 people altogether for this heist, and 2 people driving motorcycles so you could get out pretty quickly, and then 2 people on the back of those motorcycles with the guns.
Yeah.
Right? So then after like the movies are about to start, because they only deal in cash at those places.
It's true.
Right? I mean, you wouldn't get that much, but you pick like a Saturday night and like they're counting up their tills, getting ready to like leave. You go hit both those huts, both those places, and rob them, take the safes, and then just drive off. Like there's plenty of places to go. 2 dirt bikes. That's all you need. 2 dirt bikes, 4 people. So, yeah.
If that ever does happen here in the near future.
I know. I've just like... Wow.
You just outed yourself.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're going to come to you. All right. So, yeah, The Walking Dead Season 10. Speaking of a franchise that needs to die.
I did watch the trailer, and they almost pulled like what they did with you before, a Negan, to where it's just like, it's pretty interesting.
Kind of bringing it back.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not wanting to go back because I know there's going to be like a lot of fluff.
It'll just hurt you again.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. I can't do it. I gotta stay away from it. But it's kind of interesting because they've got these characters. They've let Negan out and loose, and he's like part of the crew now.
Really?
Yeah.
He's part of the community.
Which seemed really kind of odd.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure won't come back to bite him.
Yeah, no.
Next, The Witcher.
Did you ever play any of these games?
Nope.
Okay.
But apparently it was a book series.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just a video game series.
No, so then they adapted it for video games, and now they're adapting it to television.
So I watched the trailer, and I didn't see anything too spectacular here.
Yeah.
Unless they're saving the really good stuff for when you actually watch it. I didn't. It looked pretty plain to me.
It looks all right. I mean, hopefully they do it justice, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's got Henry Cavill as the main character, so,
Well, the dude still looks pretty jacked.
Oh, yeah, of course. Fear the Walking Dead season 5.
Yeah.
The people on that show are just like, why are we still doing this?
Right. Because they're waiting for the crossover.
For a paycheck. Yeah.
When The Walking Dead finally meets up with them.
Yeah. Speaking of which, The Walking Dead movie.
Okay, it was just a teaser trailer, and it's like only 20-something seconds long.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then all of a sudden, at the very end of it, it just says, like, Rick Grimes will be back, but only in the movie. You're like, okay, as if we, like, cared that much about him.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I've given up on that franchise, honestly.
That kind of, like, rounds it off as far as like things that I was kind of like really interested in. I know
you have Steven Universe the movie, Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, Carnival Row, Batwoman, Watchmen.
Yes.
Ooh, you should go watch this trailer. Watch the new Watchmen trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Who watches the Watchmen? You should. Because it looks awesome.
It really does. The cops have kind of gone more rogue, and they're also wearing masks.
So nobody knows who they are.
Right.
Yeah. Because the city's become so violent that cops are being targeted, their homes are being killed. So now all the cops wear these yellow masks.
You've got this like whole following of Rorschach followers, that are kind of trying to take over the town.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got a guy that's pretending to be Dr. Manhattan. And then at the very end, when Dr. Manhattan like shows up, I was like, he's going to have a blue hand. And then he picks up that mask. I'm like, oh yeah, he's come back from Mars.
Suit and yeah. I was hoping you'd see like the back of his head.
Okay.
It's like a big blue bald head.
Yeah.
But anyway, just writing down a couple of others here. Got Westworld season 3. Ooh, Star Trek Picard.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for this.
I know we've talked about it a little bit before. Well, even on like just on social media, but it looks to me like they're gonna pull Logan with Picard.
Kind of,
right?
Kind of, yeah. There's a young girl who shows up just out of the blue and comes to him for help. And so he's got to go on another adventure.
But he's kind of given up on the whole space thing.
Yeah,
side of things.
Unwillingly, it seems like.
Yeah.
Because when he's at his home in his vineyard and everything, he says, I've tried to make this my home, but it's never felt like it.
Yeah.
And you see him like looking up at the stars and stuff. So you get the feeling, he wants to go back in space, but for some reason he can't. Or refuses. Well, something happened, and I want to know what.
I think it just took a toll on him.
Well, because in the original preview, they said 17 years ago, you led the biggest rescue armada in history, blah, blah, blah. And then the unthinkable happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then you left. And so something happened.
What was that unthinkable thing?
Exactly. I want to know.
Yeah.
Something happens that made him leave Starfleet. But yeah, he's coming back. It's great because it's just an extension of my favorite Star Trek series, The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited.
But you'll have to wait until 2020.
Beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
So probably somewhere between January and March.
Okay.
So,
which they're also bringing a lot of, like, some of the original crew back?
You see Data.
Okay.
Because if you remember, Data got destroyed in Nemesis. But there is a little scene with him, which I think might be a dream sequence.
Okay.
I'm thinking. Anyway.
That wine, they need to release it.
Picard's wine?
Yeah. That would sell like hotcakes.
If they don't, that's such a missed opportunity.
Right?
Even I would buy a bottle of that, and I don't drink, just to have it.
Just on the shelf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Snowpiercer, TV show.
I love the movie. It was originally like a Sundance film that did like fantastic.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
As far as trailers go. So.
There were a ton.
There's a lot, yeah. So now let's talk about Comic-Con proper. And this is going to be a long episode. Maybe this will just kind of be like tradition, like our San Diego Comic-Con coverage episodes just go long.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay. So I think San Diego Comic-Con happened Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because in one of these articles it says that one of Thursday's biggest panels focused on blah blah blah.
Which is
So I think it happened
unusual
Thursday,
because
Friday,
it's
Saturday.
typically Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. They're pulling up Fan X.
Yeah.
Solid Lake Fan X. That's
You're
what we
welcome. That's how we roll.
That's right. So we'll just kind of break down stuff that happened. I think we should save the Marvel stuff for last.
Agreed.
And so, let's see. So we talked about The Witcher. Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Season 4.
I'm really stoked for this. I even looked into Nickelodeon does a certain thing for, it's like later on this year, they'll be doing like a whole, basically their mini version of Comic-Con. I forget the name of it, but they're going to be showing the first episode of season 4, and I was half tempted to buy a ticket just to...
Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
I thought it was Cartoon Network.
Or is it Cartoon?
I thought Cartoon Network had Rick and Morty. I think they do. I don't believe it was Nickelodeon.
No, I think that I don't... Now I have to go back and look at it.
All right. Well, yeah, you go ahead and enjoy that.
You've given it a chance and not your cup of tea?
It's just not my cup of tea.
Okay.
Terminator Dark Fate. We talked about that. Let's see. It Chapter 2. We talked about that.
A lot of, it was a ton of trailers.
It was, yeah. Game of Thrones had their last panel ever.
I thought that was so funny. Is
Answering
because
questions.
They had to... We even had our buddy Jamie Lannister there.
Oh, yeah.
He was... They were
Buddy
defending...
Nikolai.
They were defending the last season of Game of Thrones in this panel. Of course they were. Right? But it was really funny because in their defense, they were just talking about how, we were given this material. This is what we did the best we had to. And I don't think there was many fans that said the acting was horrible in this. No, they said the writing was horrible.
Yeah, the writing wasn't good.
Yeah.
And the plots weren't good. The acting was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It was funny, though, that the creators, the showrunners, weren't there.
Right.
They didn't show up.
No.
Let's see. So I'll save the Marvel stuff.
Where are you at, Peter Dinklage?
Yeah.
Where are you hiding?
Let's see. So we also talked about Star Trek. Picard brings back Data and the Borg. Also 7 of 9 from Voyager. Talked about The Walking Dead. Chapter 2, The Witcher. Rick and Morty. TV. Batwoman is going to tell Hush origin story. The character Hush.
Mm-hmm.
One of the better Batman stories to come along in the last 20 years.
Yes, agreed.
It's unfortunate it's going to be on this show.
Right.
I mean, I'll probably watch it. Now that Arrow is ending, I'll probably jump on.
You need something
Batwoman
to fill that void?
Yeah.
You'll jump right on Batwoman?
Yeah. She wouldn't like that. She would not be interested in that. They also... If you know about these series, they have a giant crossover event that happens every season, which brings in every show. Well, this year...
including Jane the Virgin?
It's going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay.
Earths, which is a big DC story. And so our other buddy, Brandon Routh, is coming back as Superman. He's going to reappear as Superman. Also, Burt Ward, who played Robin in the 60s, he's going to appear.
Oh, wow. Just kind of as a cameo?
Yeah. And so they're...
I hope he has an awesome line.
Holy...
Whatever. Boomerang's Batman?
Or Batwoman. I bet he'll say Batwoman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To help introduce her.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be the one that introduces her. Calling it now.
She's already been introduced in the series.
To the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
The crossover?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
She was in the last crossover.
Oh.
It was kind of a backdoor pilot.
Okay.
Anyway. So let's see. New Watchmen TV series. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Shudder's Creepshow reboot. Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance.
That one, I don't think that... I don't know. Did you like the original Dark Crystal? It was all right. It was fine. I didn't think they needed another one.
I think
his son.
Well, and our generation just barely missed that.
Right. Right, with Fraggle Rock and all that.
Yeah. That wasn't really our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the 80s kids. So I'm sure they're excited for it. Because it seems like they're doing the exact same thing they did with the original. Like it's all puppets.
Right. Well, isn't it Tim Henson's son?
Jim Henson, yeah.
Jim Henson?
His son or his daughter, yeah.
Or leading the charge on this one. Yeah.
Yep. Archer gets season 11 renewal.
Which they're only up to like season 9 or something. I don't think they have so they're just going to be continuing on for quite some time.
Batman Beyond being remastered.
Oh, on DVD or Blu-ray.
I have to go back and watch that. I don't think I've seen a lot of episodes. I don't know how many I've seen. There's probably a bunch I missed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good series.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great series. And how that hasn't made its way to the big screen yet, I don't know.
Right?
That's really weird to me.
It was such like an ongoing series that did so well that I don't see why they haven't. Yeah. Michael Keaton.
That'd be great.
As a rustic Batman.
That'd be great. Look, if J. Jonah Jameson can appear in Spider-Man Far From Home, Michael Keaton can come back as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
As an old grizzled Bruce Wayne.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see what else we got here. As far as TV goes, the rest of that we've talked about. So if we move on to movies, apparently there's a bunch of Justice League Release the Snyder Cut banners flown over San Diego Comic-Con.
No, jeez.
Oh, it bugs me. Yeah. I've gone the rounds so many times with people about this.
Yeah.
About the Snyder Cut. Where's the Snyder Cut? That would be a better movie. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be a better movie.
Right.
You know why? Because Zack Snyder did Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
That was all him, and y'all hated that.
But then they want this.
Like, most of the film, once Joss Whedon jumped on, was done.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Between 70 and 90% of it was done. Joss Whedon basically just tied up the loose ends.
Tried to edit it a little bit.
Yeah. So if you saw the movie, guess what? You saw the Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but you did.
Yeah.
Anyway. 2 new Halloween sequels. Talked about that. Terminator Dark Fate. Talked about that. Tom Cruise makes a surprise appearance for the Top Gun Maverik trailer. I think that's the first time Tom Cruise has been to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
He just showed up like that.
I don't think he has before.
Yeah. Toys and collectibles. GameStop announces San Diego Comic-Con 2019 exclusive collectibles. Funko Pops available.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
A closer look at Mario Kart and Street Fighter Hot Wheels. 17 statues. Blah, blah, blah.
It seems like it was more like it wasn't so much like video game driven this time around.
No.
That it was more movie television.
Yeah. New retro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys. I may have to pick some of these up.
Yeah. Especially Donatello.
I was going to say definitely one
yeah.
I'm going to pick up. New Power Rangers figures. That's coming back in a big way, by the way. Power Rangers. It's had a little resurgence. Games.
Which, okay, is so funny because like they're making another Power Rangers movie, but they're not having any of the originals.
No.
Like, it's not a sequel. It's just like kind of a reboot.
Yeah, they're rebooting the reboot, basically.
Yeah.
Games. Marvel's Avengers Comic-Con panel shows tons of new gameplay. Sonic appears in surprising crossover with Cartoon Network's OKKO.
Does it seem like they still release a heck of a lot more stuff there than they do at Salt Lake?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because that's where all the big movie companies, movie studios go to release stuff at San Diego.
And that's where the majority of them are already. I mean, it makes sense, but it just seems like, what the heck? Why don't we have all these exclusive stuff?
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else here? Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Let's talk about Phase 4. Come on, Troy.
All right. Everybody's waiting for it. We'll talk about Marvel Phase 4. Marvel, holy cow, did they release a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So Marvel Phase 4 release dates confirmed. So let me click on that so I can get them all properly here. Okay. So during Marvel's Comic-Con 2019 panel, let's see, talk about Phase 4. Phase 4 begins with The Eternals, which will arrive on November 6th, 2020. Although before that, we'll be getting a Black Widow movie on May 1st, 2020. And at some as of yet unspecified date, we'll be getting a new Blade movie.
Okay.
And the introduction of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the MCU.
Called it.
Called it. So let me see if they break down everything here. Coming after the Eternals will be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which we're going to get the real Mandarin.
Yeah.
Not the fake one that appeared in Iron Man 3. Let's see.
WandaVision.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out in spring 2021. I think that's the next one.
I have on May 7th, 2021, Stephen Strange will return his second standalone movie. Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness.
Which looks to be more like we were talking about this earlier. It looks more like a horror movie.
Yes.
Right?
That's what they said. So it's going to be Marvel's first scary film.
Oh, great.
So if it's going to be a multiverse, I wonder if they're going to bring back maybe some of the originals, but have different versions of them.
Okay.
So like an evil Captain America or an evil Iron Man or something. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
A nice Loki.
A nice Loki.
That helps out.
Like he's the big hero.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch will also be in the movie alongside Doctor Strange. As such, the events of the Wanda and Vision Disney Plus TV series will be tied in. Okay, so here's the breakdown. May 1st, 2020, Black Widow. Movie. Fall 2020, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
TV show. November 26th, 2020, The Eternals. February 12th, 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Spring 2021, WandaVision. May 7th, 2021, Doctor Strange 2. Spring 2021, Loki. That's TV series. Summer 2021, What If? Animated series. Fall 2021, Hawkeye. TV series. And November 5th, 2021, Thor, Love and Thunder.
That'll be pretty interesting because Natalie Portman's coming back.
She's coming back and she's going to be Thor.
Yeah.
Jane Foster will be Thor, which she is in the comics. I'm pretty sure she still is. But she's been Thor for a while. So yeah, good for her.
She's gonna need to bulk up a little bit.
Yeah, she's gonna put on some muscle.
Yeah.
She's a small person. So yeah, Marvel just blew everybody away. Like we were talking about before we started recording. It's like movies and television and pop culture right now are just starting over.
Yeah.
It's like everything that we loved up to this point, the last 11 years of the MCU, Game of Thrones, all the other TV shows we love, they're all ending.
Right.
And so now in 2020,
they're like, hey, here's everything.
Here's everything else that's now coming that we're starting up.
It does seem
like we've hit the reset button.
Which seems great because we've still got all of that other like previous knowledge and installments, and then we're only getting more content. Which also we were talking about before the episode, that it seems like they're kind of going in a darker direction, and they can do more supernatural stuff, and they can explore different things. They don't have to limit themselves because they already had like a plan. This seems like really fresh and new.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for these next couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really good time to be a geek. The year of the geek continues. Yeah. Just checking, make sure there's nothing else we missed here.
I don't believe so.
No, I think we got everything. Of all those Marvel films, what are you most looking forward to?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be interesting. I like that they're redoing Blade, bringing him back.
Yeah. It'll be interesting also to see a Loki television series.
Loki through time, basically what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are they going to stray away from what they've already created with the MCU, or is he going to be like more helpful at different areas that you didn't realize that he was helpful?
See, that would be funny. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If he was always working behind the scenes this whole time.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of interesting. Or maybe they'll do kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is also ending, by the way.
Yeah.
I think this next season will be it. Where it'll tie in occasionally, but it'll be more of a separate story.
Standalone kind of stuff.
Able to do that.
There has been a lot of, from him being a child and up to adulthood, before his ultimate demise. There's been a lot of time that they could explore.
Yeah. Loki was thousands of years old.
Yeah.
When Thanos killed him.
Yeah.
So. Okay. It's pretty much. Also, what I like is with these Marvel Disney Plus TV series, that the actors are coming back.
Right.
They're not recasting, which is something that you would have seen 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, right.
Because they made a Blade TV series once upon a time, but it wasn't Wesley Snipes.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly because he was in prison at the time. So they recast, but I think it just goes to show how much they love these characters and how much they love
money.
The MCU, and money, and the MCU, and respect it that they're coming back for the TV series.
Oh, for sure.
Because chances are they're not getting paid as much as they would if they were making a feature film.
No,
I would assume. I don't know. So it seems like they're just doing it for love of the characters and love of continuing on.
That, and I do appreciate that even in their movies, I haven't seen Natalie Portman in anything as of late, but it's cool that they're still sticking that consistency with keeping it the same.
Yeah. And I heard that she didn't want to come back.
Same here. I heard that there was some bad blood, and that's why she hadn't been in any of these other ones.
Maybe there was a dump truck of money that showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe Ed Norton will come back occasionally or sometime as Bruce Banner. Maybe he'll appear in the multiverse.
Yeah.
As Bruce Banner. That'd be funny.
They did talk a little bit at San Diego Comic-Con about the direction of smart Hulk.
Yeah.
But as far as movie adaptations, they didn't really say.
No, you're not going to get a Hulk solo film, I don't think.
You don't think so?
I don't think that's coming.
Even with that they did, they're doing, finally getting around to doing a Black Widow movie?
Well, Black Widow is owned exclusively by Marvel. Hulk is not. the Hulk movie rights is still owned by Sony.
Right.
And so, or Universal. And
they couldn't play nice like what they did with
Sony?
Spider-Man? Yeah. Right.
Apparently not.
Huh.
Even though you've seen the success of those Spider-Man films, you'd think maybe we should jump on that bandwagon, but I was gonna say something else. Dang, I don't. Oh, I was gonna say, with all these actors coming back, with the success that they've had offers.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany. They've all had offers to do other things, I'm sure, but they're coming back and they're doing these TV shows and resurrecting these characters, and I think that's admirable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
kudos to you all.
Yes, kudos to them. All right. Wow, I think that's pretty much it. Probably could have gone in a deeper dive and clicked on all of these, but anyway. Kumail Nanjiani is now going to be in the MCU. So is Angelina Jolie.
I saw that.
They're going to be in the Eternals. I have to admit, I don't know much about the Eternals.
No, neither do I. But Marvel can do no wrong, right?
It's true. I have to go do some research. Because I've seen them. I've seen the characters every now and again. But I don't know enough to be like, oh, that's that character, and that's that character, and that's their... I don't know. I've never really paid attention to it. But I've never paid attention to Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy either, so...
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's everything. You have anything else?
Nope.
All right. So, well, we didn't go too long. We're like an hour 16 right now.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad. So, here's where you can find us. You can listen to all of our episodes at worldwarg.podbean.com. Also on iTunes, Google Play, CosmicPotato.com, and on Podcoin. Facebook.com on the social media /World War G podcast. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be honest with you, we don't do anything with Twitter or really Instagram, so just follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can find all of our merchandise at shop.spreadshirt.com /World War G. Get us on your body. That should be the slogan. Put us on you. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. You can also call Joel's line at 385-240-1692. Call or text anytime. So, this has been World War G episode 227. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
Stay geeky, my friends. Stay tuned for the post-credit scene.
Although I recently saw that they, I didn't know this, that they had a Catwoman, that there was like a time when she was away for like, because she was made an appearance in the Long Halloween.
Yeah.
And she was like kind of there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then there was a time where she like went away from the series because there's those three books.
Mm-hmm.
And she was over in Paris at the time. There's a Catwoman.
Oh, I read that.
Really?
I read that book. Yeah, I was sitting in a library with nothing to do, and I was looking at graphic novels, and I found that, and I just read it. Welcome to post-credit scene, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We're just sitting here shooting the breeze.
Like it's kind of funny because like the majority of the time when we're talking about nerdy stuff, I'm thinking, Yeah, that would be great for the podcast. I'll save that for the podcast kind of a thing. These are like random thoughts that pop into your head, but then it's also kind of like nice at the same time to just be able to just like, talk geeky. Because this is what we do even when we're not recording the podcast. We talk geeky stuff.
It's true, we do.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, did you see this? Did you see this?
Yeah.
We're always sending each other stuff and like, oh, check this out. Check this out.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't mention why Colton wasn't here.
Yeah.
He's, I think he's at a cabin somewhere.
In the woods somewhere.
Doing outdoorsy man things. I don't know what he's doing. Doesn't sound like too much fun to me.
Chopping wood.
Chopping wood with his shirt off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where he is.
One of my random thoughts that I was thinking about, you know how they're rebooting Picard after quite a few years?
Yeah.
I really feel like they need to do that, like just give another movie. I mean, I know they had Serenity, but have another movie, another installment, what Mal Reynolds has been up to in Firefly years down the road.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's coming.
Really?
Honestly. With the success that these series are having,
right?
These rebooted series are having, I wouldn't doubt it.
Not
and
like
Nathan Fillion looks good,
right?
By the way, he's lost a ton of weight. I mean, he's back to Captain Tight Pants weight.
Because like for a while, especially after doing Castle and even that newest The Rookie. Mm-hmm. He kind of put on a few lbs.
Yeah, especially in Castle.
Yeah.
There's a couple of seasons there. You could tell he was, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, you can take the Firefly.
Oh, did you finish it?
I did.
Okay, what did you think about overall? What did you think about it?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I think I can see why people are so upset that it's gone because it was a really original idea.
Yeah.
Kind of the idea that 500 years in the future, we went backwards in the fact that it's now
we kind of digressed
kind of the Wild West, but at the same time there's still like starships and spaceships and stuff.
Right.
I thought that was interesting.
The actual last episode of the series was the one where the I forget his name that got shot. And like he was harvesting the organs. Yeah. Right? And kind of like a transporter for it. That was actually the final episode that they did. That's why it was so somber and had like such a somber feel to it. Right. That was the last episode that they filmed, and then the cast kind of like said their goodbyes and like left the series. Not that like other installment. Although I would have loved to have seen more with that bounty hunter. Oh yeah. He was pretty twisted. He was pretty out there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely a fun series, and now it's something I can check
off the list there.
Yeah. How you doing on Discovery?
I've got 2 more episodes.
2 more episodes.
Yep. And then I'll have my review. Now you need, I think it's still on Netflix, Serenity. You'll have to check out that movie.
I'll have to watch that. Yep.
It's great. They definitely helped wrap up the whole series.
Yeah. Yeah, and now Discovery, I think, finished season 2. Mm-hmm. And I think they're...
Did you already finish it as well?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. Because here's the thing. I've been binging the crap out of Cheers.
Yeah.
For some... I don't know why I've been watching Cheers.
I did the same thing when it was with Frasier. Like a while back.
Yeah, I did that too.
Just watched the whole entire series, and it's fantastic as well.
And I can see now why Netflix has so much money that they can just blow through, because it's constantly on my laptop when I'm doing stuff. I'm constantly watching it.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting down here drawing or filling out job applications or whatever, I have Netflix on. And I'm just sitting there watching it.
Dude, I'll as soon as I get home from work, I'll just throw it on. A lot of the times it's just because for background noise. Yeah. But I'll just put on some episode of some show and then just kind of let it play as I'm doing something else as well. Yeah.
So if everybody else is like us, I mean, it makes sense that they have so much freaking money.
Although, speaking of which, they actually lost... I think it was 17 or $1.7 billion. Did you see that recently?
I did see that.
Yeah. Yep. What was the whole reason behind that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
They said some sort of I can't think of what it was. But, like, that's a huge chunk of change, but they're still doing perfectly fine.
See, Netflix losses 2018. In October 22nd, 2018, the story says Netflix fuels its ballooning cash burn with $2 billion in new debt. Let's see. Is Netflix still losing money?
Yeah, this was just 2 days ago. Netflix loses 17 billion.
Does it say why?
Mm-mm.
I didn't realize that was just a couple days ago.
Yeah, because of the subscribers, for whatever reason. Let's see. Netflix, 17 billion, lost 2.7 million subscribers recently in the last quarter.
Oh yeah, right here. The Hollywood Reporter. Netflix loses $17 billion in value in 1 day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a ton of money. Like, to kind of put that into perspective, Disney purchased Star Wars for $4 billion?
$4 billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like more than 4 times as much.
Says the Netflix shed $17 billion in value on Thursday as Wall Street punished the leader in streaming media for announcing a day prior that it added only 2.7 million subscribers in the most recent quarter, far shy of the 5 million it had previously forecast.
Because they only did half the numbers. That's still a ton of new subscribers.
Well, yeah.
Right?
I mean, anybody else would be happy with that, but Netflix is like, dang. Netflix is like that overachieving student that was in school that gets a B- and is depressed.
There was one kid I can think of in particular that he was graduated year. He got a 32 on the SATs and was mad about that, so he went back and got a 36.
I'm trying to think.
Nelson.
His last name was Nelson?
Yeah, not Keith. Chris Nelson.
Chris Nelson.
Do you remember him? He was an arrogant SOB.
I'm trying to think if I remember Chris Nelson.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of Chris's.
Yeah.
And a lot of people last name Nelson, but
he got a 32 and got mad and went back and got a 36, which is the perfect score.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like that's what Netflix is. They're like, oh dang, we got a B- on the test.
Because of that, then they
now
lose
our parents are gonna be
17
mad.
billion.
Well, yeah.
Sheesh. Which do you think Netflix at that rate, until they get everybody, or how are they going to keep those numbers up? Adding that many million people each day, each quarter?
They got to come up with another sort of marketing system or something. I don't know how they're going to.
I mean, they've got new material that they're constantly releasing, but then they're also losing some of they're getting rid of other ones that, kind of made their fame, their bread and butter.
Yeah, because I've always wondered, where does Netflix's revenue come from? It can't be just on subscribers alone, right? I wouldn't think.
From ads. Because if you get, if you don't get the highest Netflix subscription, you have to deal with, ads every so often.
Right.
So I think there's where a lot of their money comes from, but... I don't know.
And they probably advertise on other.
Well, there's even
other places.
And there's even I know with Hulu, there's certain television shows with New Girl and some of these other ones that it says this one we're gonna show an ad before and after the program. It's it's not. We can't do it ad free.
Yeah. Speaking of Hulu, did you see that the Orville Season 3 is going to Hulu?
Yeah, I did. Which
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why they would have given that up.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I've been seeing Sean Ray and a few others that do Star Trek podcasts. They were talking about how people didn't want to pay to see Star Trek Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, well, I'll just watch the Orville instead because it's on Fox. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, now you got to pay to watch that too. I wonder why they moved.
I don't know.
Because I don't think Orville was doing bad in the ratings or anything.
No, not at all.
Huh. I haven't watched it in a little bit. I'll have to catch up.
I mean, I've watched both like the 2 seasons.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go back and catch up.
It's weird because like it seems like there's a lot of new material, but there's been a little bit of a lull with new stuff that's kind of caught my eye.
Yeah.
So then it's just been more going back and watching shows that I didn't get around to watching before, or like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to watch this one, and then I'll finally like actually get a chance to.
I think that's why I'm watching Cheers, because growing up, I always caught an episode or two of Cheers here or there.
Right.
But I never watched the whole series. That's why I'm going back and watching it.
Is each episode like the next day?
No. They don't really have a continuity as far as that goes.
Okay.
It just seems like it's just another day in that bar.
Would a series like that today really work so well?
No.
Because they've got that one show, Abby. Have you seen that at all?
I haven't seen that.
She's got like a bar in the backyard, and it's filmed in front of a live studio audience. But they've got some of the, they've got a pretty decent cast, but it kind of works, but it's corny and cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think a show like Cheers would work today. I don't think the characters in Cheers would work today.
No.
Sam Malone is one of the biggest misogynist and sexist men I've ever seen depicted on TV.
Yeah.
Like, they literally showed him slapping Diane.
Really?
Yeah, because they were in this big fight.
Yeah.
So Diane slapped him, and so he slapped her back.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that would not fly.
No,
No.
Not even a little bit. And they have episodes where there was this one episode where they were talking about gay people.
Yeah.
And because one of Sam's old teammates came out as gay.
Mm-hmm.
And so
like a baseball player, right?
Yeah, baseball player. And so Sam was all uncomfortable with it because, he showered with the guy and they went and, perused women and stuff. So he was all uncomfortable.
Oh, geez.
And so it ended up being that they wanted to see, well, they were worried that because he had an interview in the paper that people would think, okay, now Cheers is a gay-friendly bar, and so it was going to change everything. And all of a sudden there's going to be decorations and plants and stuff in this bar because the gays are going to take over.
Oh, geez.
And so the crux of the episode is the gang, the Cheers gang, trying to figure out who was gay in the bar because Diane said that there were 2 gay men in the bar.
Really?
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out who it was.
Oh, geez, that would not fly today.
No.
Well, it didn't seem out of place because of it's an older set television show, right?
Time, yeah. It started in 1982
and
ended in 83.
Which that, for its time, was probably like cutting edge kind of a thing. Like one of those episodes that they do in these television shows to kind of get ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it started. I haven't even gotten to the season yet where I was even born. I think that's like in the crossover season 3 and season 4. I think they hit 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's amazing if you think about it, that Kelsey Grammer played Frasier that long. Like he came on in season 3. And continued to play him throughout that whole series. And then continued another... How long did Frasier run? I can't remember.
5, maybe?
It was longer than that. I think it was like closer to 10. 10 seasons. If not 11. Because Cheers ran 11. So he was on that for 8 years. And then his show ran...
11. Yeah.
11 seasons. Okay. Yeah, so he played Frasier for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
And it's coming back. Frasier's coming back.
Yeah.
So he's going to continue to play it.
Wow. He's going to pull more of a Dr. Phil kind of a thing, or
I don't know.
like as far as with it coming back?
Maybe he'll have a therapist or a therapy podcast.
Okay.
To keep up with the times. Maybe they'll do that.
Yeah. Him trying to adjust to being like a podcaster now.
Yeah. You know what I thought would be an interesting podcast? I just thought about this like a week ago. You could call it Walk and Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a little portable recorder, couple portable mics, and you just go on a walk with somebody and just talk to them.
They've kind of already done that with Jerry Seinfeld. He does that with like comedians in the cars or something.
Comedian cars getting coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's done that with a podcast.
Just walk around.
Just walk around and just talk.
Oh, everybody would have to be kind of mic'd up in order to actually like...
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this after your like late night walk that you thought of this idea?
No. Yeah, my little late night walk that I did. Yeah.
The Prowler.
I just went around the block.
No shoes?
That's true. That's true. I was barefoot. I don't know why.
You're like, I wasn't wearing any clothing either.
I was completely naked, walking around the block.
It was nice. It was freeing, warm breeze.
No, actually, I was just sitting out on the porch out here, actually watching comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah.
Wasn't wearing shoes or anything. I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk. And I didn't want to go back in and grab my shoes. So I just
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my friends recently, she was talking about, we went on hiked in Zion. They've got a hike that's Angel's Landing.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And she was saying that she's like, because there was this gentleman that like hiked it all the way to the very top. And then once he was to the top, he did it with no shoes. He hiked that whole hike.
Yeah.
And then he sat up at the top and kind of meditated for a while and like walked back down. But like, I'm like, wow, that's pretty hardcore though. And she was just like, oh yeah, I could totally do that. Like, it was a gravelly hike. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have hobbit feet. Like, it would hurt. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Although I did have one of my friends, like, growing up in middle school, that he walked around the whole entire summer with no shoes and had, like, these nasty calluses that, like, built up his calluses so he could just walk anywhere. And it was basically, like, flip-flops.
Yeah.
It was gross.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get that far.
Yeah. I don't know how these hobbits do it.
Well, I've actually heard that the way, the evolution of hobbits were basically the bottoms of their feet were basically leather.
Yeah.
So it's like they were wearing shoes anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have like fur on the top and leather on the bottom?
Exactly.
It's a flip-flop.
It's like they were wearing moccasins or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully, if you're still listening, you've enjoyed this. It's just kind of shooting the breeze. But hey, this is how the post-credit scene is gonna go.
Exactly.
It's like how Good Mythical Morning. Not that I'm cribbing from that. It's how Good Mythical Morning also does Good Mythical More, and they just sit there and just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I like it.
Same process. All right. I still need to figure out a way to end these. Something like
until next time.
Or
stay tuned.
You'll hear us next week, or same
bad times,
same geek times. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll figure out something. All right, we'll see you later.